Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1666. The topic is Q&A and the title is Personal Trainer Education, How to Get New Clients. So I have a lot of personal trainer education podcasts that we used to do. I think we have over 150. But the downside is the regular population who weren't personal trainers thought that they weren't podcasts for them. Although they had a lot of really good information in there about training, nutrition, lifestyle management, a lot of motivational things, a lot of just really good education. But it seemed to kind of deter people from listening. I wanted to come back to do one because one of the aspects of what I do is I get to work with other personal trainers. Actually, over half of my clients are personal trainers. And one of the services that I get to do with people is business coaching. I've been a personal trainer, like paid to be a personal trainer now, for over 20 years. I've had Brutal Iron Gym for 12 years, and I have learned a lot. The one thing I laugh about, and I do honestly mean this, is one of the best things being able to work with other trainers is I get to help them avoid all the mistakes that I made. So I tried my best and figured things out along the way. And I love being able to teach others because you can help them avoid those kind of heartaches, like the disappointments, avoid all the negative crap, and they can just get more of the good stuff. And that's what I love. So one of my clients, we were talking, they are a personal trainer. We're doing the business coaching, so we do a weekly virtual consultation, just chit-chat and cover any questions they have, and I help them with a bunch of other things as well. So one of the questions they brought up was how did I get new clients as I progressed from starting as a trainer to where I am now, and then what advice I would have for other trainers. So I was like, this is pretty fun. So we started talking, and when I first started, I was 16 years old, kind of when I got super excited into all this, and I started showing my friends things that I would learn, and I wasn't getting paid at 16, but I would go to a workout and I would have an idea of what to do, and my friends would just say, yeah, sure, tell us what to do. So I was excited. I had a magazine, that I'd listened to, read through. I had a great workout I thought I wanted to try. So they would just let me kind of direct the workouts. What slowly started to happen was they were happy about it. They were excited, getting good results. I had started helping my mom, and just through my friends, through helping my mom, family and friends would start to ask questions. And then eventually it led to where I could actually start to charge. So I remember I had power block dumbbells in the back of my car and like a yoga mat kind of thing. And I would travel to people's houses and I would maybe train someone and they'd give me, $20 for the hour. And it started being a way where I could make some money as I was going through school, as I was trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. So it was funny because I never got into personal training thinking that it was going to be my career. It was just what I enjoyed and what I liked to do while I tried to find what my career would be. So it started with family and friends. They were getting some results. They were enjoying it. They knew I was excited. So when somebody would ask them a question, they would say, hey, it looks like you're losing weight. What are you doing? They're like, well, you need to go talk to Rob. Or if they were just in a conversation with somebody and they seemed confused about how to lose weight or, whatever, like a physical health kind of thing, nutrition type thing, they would always say, you got to go talk to Rob. So getting results for my clients and the people I was working with, being open to answering questions, just being in it. Just being in it, helping people, loving it, being passionate about it. It was everything I did all the time. So it slowly started to build word of mouth. And that was for sure the whole start of everything was me just word of mouth. Whoever trusted me to work with them, I just tried to do the best I could because I was engrossed in each project. Like, people are fun projects. I wanted to see if I could figure out what their problem was. And it just naturally was very exciting. As they got results, they were excited. So they started talking to more people. So that was what got me started. So when I started, if there was social media, I sure as heck wasn't on it and didn't really pay attention to it or didn't do any of it. I didn't have Facebook until I think I was like 24, and I didn't start Instagram. Gosh, I don't even know. I don't know when Instagram started itself, but I didn't start Instagram I think, until 2000, I don't even know, 14, 2015. So I didn't use social media in my younger years to try to build clientele. It was focusing on the clients I did have, just absolutely crush it with them, and it developed word of mouth. Then for grad school, I started teaching at a university. I moved from Pennsylvania down to South Carolina, taught at Winthrop University. I taught weight training. I actually got to write, the year I got there, they were building out a new facility, like multi-million-dollar facility, and I got to rewrite the curriculum for the weight training courses that I taught. So it was super fun. I built in nutrition. I built in the concepts of the students learning how to write their own programs. I took it from what was kind of like a science-y type focus, where they were talking about planes of motion and all these things, and I included it as much as I could, but I really wanted the students to leave knowing how they could actually help themselves. Not know which movements are in the sagittal plane versus a transverse plane. Is that somewhat helpful? Sure. But that's not what people really need to know. They want to know, if I want to get bigger muscles, how do I get bigger muscles? If I want to lose weight, how do I lose weight? So I taught what I would feel was more useful focus on the program. So I really enjoyed that I got to rewrite the curriculum. I then also got to help build out the personal training services that the university was going to offer at the new facility. They were in developmental stage. I got to give feedback. I got to be part of that. So I was one of the first trainers at the facility. So I got to teach weight training classes. I got to do the personal training at the university. It was interesting, though, because the pay for the personal trainers at the university was absolute crap compared to private personal training, which I was used to getting paid. And I also got a job at a Bally's Fitness when I moved down. So I was busy doing that, and I had a job at a supplement store. Somebody I met down here, very nice guy, owns Rock Hill Nutrition, Steve Wayman, ridiculously knowledgeable. I mean, oh my gosh, he knows everything you need to know about supplements and more. So I started working with him. So I had a lot of avenues in which I was getting out there and meeting people. I was teaching at the university. I was training people at the university. I was working at Bally's up in Charlotte. I was working at the supplement store, and Steve was really nice. He let me put out a little flyer that said if people had questions about nutrition, that I would be willing to help them. Because a lot of times people would come in and they would buy fat loss supplements, but their nutrition wasn't going to support the results that they thought the supplements were going to get. And Steve, being an amazing person that he is, great character, he only ever sold stuff like fat loss supplements. He would ask people what they were doing nutritionally. He would give them advice, and he wouldn't sell the supplement if he didn't think that they were actually eating in a way that was healthy and going to support it. It was amazing. It was wonderful to be in an environment where somebody promoted the underlying health, that the base of what would be needed for the supplements to actually work and to work effectively and safely. And at that time, I started building out my clientele much bigger than before. Up until that point, I was personal training just whenever I needed, however I needed, just to get some money. And this was the transition. Teaching at the university, training at the university, having the two jobs in the fitness industry, like health industry. I started talking to more people, meeting more people. I started building out client list. At the time, I didn't have anywhere to train some of the people. I would actually go to their gym and train them. I went to a local YMCA, a couple other kind of commercial gyms. They would sign me in as like a guest for the day, and then I would just work out with them and teach them things along the way. We did a lot of email communication. So it was pretty much like remote training before online training was actually a thing. It was super fun, really enjoyed it. And what started to happen was I got enough clientele that I remember telling my parents, I was like, I think I want to open a gym. I had talked to a local gym and said, hey, I have a lot of people I work with, and I would really love to have a single place to train them. Could I bring them here? And they told me that they wanted to get rid of the training director that they had. they were going to hire me as a training director. And my job would be is to build out the client list, build out bringing in new trainers, and they were going to charge me 60% of everything. And I'm greedy. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm going to do all the damn work, and you're going to take 60% of my money. I was like, I'm looking around at the machines, I'm looking at the building, and I'm like, how much does all this really cost? You know, I'm going to give you 60% of it, but I'm going to do everything. I remember talking to my parents, and I was like, I think I want to open up my own gym. Because in my mind, if I gave them 60% of what I was bringing in within like a year or so, I would have had paid for a full gym on my own. So I was like, I'd rather just build my own gym. So I did. That was the start of Brutal Iron Gym, was in 2011. I actually got the idea to open the gym on Thanksgiving of 2010. And then I remember I went home on Thanksgiving weekend, told my parents what I was thinking about doing. I came back to South Carolina, took my finals, went back up over Christmas, and we sorted out helping me get some money to get everything started. And I came back down and opened the gym that February. So I had the idea in November and I opened it in February. I would not recommend doing it that fast. I did not read any business books until after I opened my business, and then went, holy crap, I have a lot to learn. But it was super beneficial in one way, in that it was so damn fast that I didn't think of what if it doesn't work. It was just, why would it not work? And that was a great mindset, in the sense that then when I got confronted with all the challenges, I had already committed to it. So I was like, I better see this through. I better figure this out, because I'm already here. I'm already done. Like, the gym already exists. There's people already signed up. I got to figure this out. So I kind of like self-sabotaged myself. I got into it so far that I couldn't back out. At that time, I was still teaching at the university. I wasn't training at the university anymore. If somebody asked me about training, I would just bring them to my gym. And I started training people at just $20 an hour. That was insane, because it also included, I wrote their nutrition programs and all their workouts for when we wouldn't meet. So if I trained them once a week, I wrote the workouts for them to do on the other days of the week and the nutrition, and that was all for just $20. $20 an hour. If you trained with me once, I would write everything. So what quickly happened was people would train with me once a week, then they would see if they could come with me twice a week, then 3 times a week, and I got up to training people 50 hours a week, and I was like, holy freaking crap, am I exhausted and tired? I'm about to die, because not only do I have 50 hours in person, face-to-face, I still had to write each person's nutrition program, training program, answer any emails they had in between the sessions that we met, clean the gym, market for the gym, do the accounting for the gym. I had my own workouts. I should probably eat somewhere in there. It was insane, absolutely insane. And then also, in the no downtime that I had, I found ways to do guest speaking. I would teach one of my best friends has a church, so I would go to his church and do like guest teaching, guest talks, and I went to local community centers. I went to schools. I was part of Big Brother Big Sister program, so I would go to like groups for that, so parents could learn about ways to eat. I had one of my clients was part of a football team, a high school football team, a private school, so I went and did a nutrition talk for the whole football team. I went to a couple local schools just to take over like a health class for the day and talked about nutrition. I really just went everywhere I could. I remember I went to one, it was like a drug addict meeting, and my favorite way to structure guest speaking is to do Q&A. If the group I'm talking to is talkative, I come there with something in mind, but I just let people talk. And then what I love about that is if they're willing to ask questions, it's probably the thing that they want to know the most. And that's what I want to help them with. So rather than me talking for 20, 30 minutes about something they might not care about, I'd rather just know, hey, what do you want to know? Like, what do you want to know? And I'll answer it, I'll help. And it was amazing because I've been doing this for so long that I was able to help a lot of people with just whatever random questions came up. But if there was something that came up and I'm like, oof, I don't know that, I would get their contact information. I'd get their email, a phone number or something. I would go home that night, research, read, learn everything I possibly could, send them an answer, and then that was a great way for me to learn. It was awesome that I had that approach ever since I was 16 years old. Was if somebody asked me something, I would get back to them. I would say, well, I don't know that right now, but let me have a way to get back to you. I will find the answer and then I'll let you know. So it was just, since I was 16 years old, I've just been looking up everything and anything I didn't know. You start to learn a lot. So it was kind of helpful. That was kind of the base of what I would give advice-wise to help other trainers, is the clients that you do have, focus first on them. Please, please, please don't lose sight of who you have, trying to always chase down someone new. If you focus on your current clients, you're going to get results. The results will speak for themselves in the sense that people will ask your clients what they're doing, and or the clients are just going to be so excited about the results that they're going to give referrals. They're going to add to word of mouth. It spirals and grows and builds, and that's kind of the nucleus, is be good at what you do and like prove it, like freaking crush it, own it, just absolutely destroy the goals, crush the goals. If you do your absolute best with who you have, you will get new people. You'll get opportunities for new people. That's a good way to say it. The other thing I would do is social media. When I did learn what Instagram was and I started to enjoy the format, I was like, well, this is kind of cool. Like, I can teach people things and I can reach more people than just my clients. I enjoy teaching my clients, definitely, but it was also like I seem to, if I tell them something and they're super excited, they're like, oh, wow, that was super helpful, thank you so much. I was also then thinking, well, that's a bummer that other people don't know. If other people knew, they could get help like from that information as well. So I loved the format of social media in the sense that you can teach and it can reach so many more people than what you will just see in a day. I might train 10 people in a day, but I can make a post on social media and reach 100. To me, that was super exciting. I was like, well, this is really fun. I can help more people. So social media is a great format to teach. And why I believe teaching is the best focus is people don't know what you know until you tell them what you know. So they're not going to understand your value until they know you know stuff. But then also, there's a quote, I'm going to say it a couple times, but you don't know what you don't know until you know that you don't know it. I love that quote because people often don't know what they don't know. So when you teach things and they go, oh crap, I didn't know that, they now wonder, what else don't I know? And does that person know it? So when you teach, it helps to prove your knowledge. It helps to prove the value of you as like a personal trainer. And it helps to open people's eyes to what your value can be for them. People don't know what they don't know. So when you start teaching things and they go, oh crap, I didn't know that, they're now aware that they don't know things and they want to find out what else don't they know. So those are the first two tips, is to focus on your current clients. Second tip is to use social media, but use it to teach. Don't just post, oh, I have some personal training slots open. Who gives a shit? No one knows who you are. They don't know what your value is. How are you any different than the thousands of other trainers who say the same thing? Teach. One thing that's really cool is we all know this because we all follow people on social media, is you'll connect with someone. They have a funny personality. They're interesting. They're knowledgeable. You like the way that they teach. It's simplistic. There's something about people that you like or don't like. If you teach, if you express yourself, show yourself, if you talk, people will get to know you, and those who like you will be more likely to reach out. So don't post things that are like, copy paste from other trainers. Don't post images and never talk. Like teach. The more you teach, the more it helps. I remember when my dad first kind of saw how I was teaching on social media, and he said, aren't you afraid you're going to just teach people everything they need to know? And I was like, that would be amazing if I could. I actually wish I could just teach people every single thing that they would know, And if it put me out of a job, oh well, because I like lifting weights anyhow. I'll just lift weights and do something else if I needed to. But the reason why I say it that way is you can't teach everybody everything. If it took me 20 years to learn it, can I teach somebody in a shorter time than 20 years? Probably, I would hope so. But it's still going to take a long time. And everyone's a little different. We have our free nutrition program. Like, you can create your own nutrition program on our website. You can go there, click and download a document, create your own nutrition program where you figure out the calories you need, the protein you need, the distribution that best matches your lifestyle and needs. You can even pick like food types, whether you have like more fats or more carbs in a meal, which foods are best for you in regards to timing, before energy, like before workouts, after workouts. You can figure out a lot. But there still comes down to a lot of personalized questions. That's why with my one-on-one clients, they have a journal they can write questions in anytime they want. I'll answer them at least once a week. We have our live monthly programming service where people get kind of mass-written programs, like programs based on the goal, not per the individual. But there's still the teaching education aspect. They have access to ask me any question they want 24/7. It's always teaching. There's always teaching involved. There's always personalization involved because that's eventually what people need. A lot of the basics of stuff, yes, you can teach people what they need. But as they make progress, they start to run into nuanced situations and they need one-on-one advice. And that's where I would rather spend more of my time because I enjoy that more. I don't want to sit here and have to figure out how to help like every single person. If I never tell anybody how to figure out their right calories, and then every single person that reached out to me, I had to teach the exact same thing every time, I will go absolutely nuts. I cannot stand having to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I would rather teach as much as possible and then get to have fun doing the nuanced, weird little things. And that's what I actually enjoy. The problem-solving type stuff. That's what I enjoy the most. So teach. As you teach, you will improve what you learn and what you know. You'll learn more. You'll be able to communicate it better. You'll show people the value of you. You'll show them what they maybe don't know. So it's so much going to help there. The third thing would be is to get out into the community. Do some guest speaking. Go talk to some schools, some community like places. Just go out there. If you see a bigger business, maybe a business that has 20, 30, 40 employees. Say, hey, would there be a day where I could come in during a lunch hour and just teach people about nutrition? And maybe they would be super excited to do that. That might be a really fun thing. The boss gets to look like a hero, look at me giving back to, people. You can do it for free. You don't have to charge them a dime because it's exposure for you and it's just more learning opportunities. So that's definitely what I would do is get out into the community. Just be in the mix. Go to local events. Like in our Rock Hill area, they have, I forget the name of all these things, but they have community events like once a year. I go to like Fort Mill, which is a local town. They have a strawberry festival every year. And you could get like a booth and just be there to answer questions for people. It sounds ridiculous, but it's just find ways to talk to people. Get out there. Social media helps, but also just get out there and meet people face to face. Talk to communities, talk to groups. Do what you can. Just get out there. The fourth tip is to offer some kind of discount or special. You can do free sessions. So maybe if you have a gym to train at, you could offer people, say, hey, first session's on me. Just come in, tell me what your problems are. I'll take you through a workout. If you don't like it, no worries. If you like it, we'll sign you up. So that could be a good thing. If you do online coaching, say the first phone call. Say, I'll give everybody, the next 10 people that, sign up, I'll give a free 30-minute consultation. We'll just talk, learn about what you might need. I'll give some suggestions. If you want to work with me, great. If you just want to take the suggestions and roll with it on your own, great. You can even see if they'll agree to you recording it. And then you can post what you talked about on social media as a way to show how you were able to answer somebody's questions. Doing some type of discount, some type of like referral rewards. So maybe if your current clients say, hey, if you recommend me to somebody and they sign up, I'll give you 50% off your next month. Just whatever it might be, just some kind of something that lowers the friction, the challenge for somebody to sign up with you. So for example, why they might not sign up with you is because they don't know what you're worth. So make yourself free. Prove your worth. That's why I started with $20 an hour. When I started Brutal Iron Gym, there were places around town that were charging $60, $70, $80 an hour. Here I am charging $20. People didn't care if I was awful. They're like, he might be a horrible trainer, but I'll pay $20. What's $20? I'll at least try it for $20, right? So it's just lowering that friction, making it easier to get started. So those are my main tips. And then a general tip that I would have is no one will just come to you. If you sit on your butt and you don't do efforts, if you don't put in new efforts, if you don't refresh your efforts, if you don't try to get someone new, no one is coming. No one knows you exist. No one knows what value you have. You have to go prove it. You have to go get it. You have to do the work. If you want new clients, go earn them. Sometimes I've talked to trainers and they're like, I don't know why I'm not getting clients. I'm a really good trainer. And I'm like, well, do you have a social media page? No. What the hell? It's one of the most basic things you could do. And you don't even have that? I was like, well, have you gone out and done like any community stuff? Oh, no, I'm really busy. I got clients and then I'm busy at home doing this thing and that thing. And I'm like, well, where's your exposure? Like, how do people even know that you exist? How are you getting new people if you're not going to them? They're not going to come find you. They don't even know to look for you. Right? So if you want someone new, go get them. My advice would be who you have, the current clients you have, absolutely destroy the goals. Crush it. Commit 1,000,000%. Crush those goals. It'll help immensely. Second tip is social media. Get on social media, teach as much as you can. Third tip is to get out into the community, guest speak, do whatever you can, get in front of people. Just show the world that you're around, and they'll come find you. They'll come get you, But you have to go out to them first. The fourth tip is to offer some kind of special discount, free stuff, just something that makes it easier for somebody to get started with you. Awesome. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful in some way. I just loved the topic, loved the conversation that I got into with my client, and thought it might be fun to share. If you have any follow-up questions, if you need anything, our email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. Just let me know. I'm always happy to help. If you like our podcast, please share. The more people we share the podcast with, the more people we can help. That's the whole point of the podcast, just help people live their healthiest and happiest lives. Thank you to those who donate to support the podcast. It does have a high hosting cost on all the different platforms we try to be available on. If you want to donate, you can do that on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. Even just $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can give, it adds up. It helps immensely. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the information we share in our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us. Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.